Hello and thank you for joining me today. Today I'm sharing with you a quick mixed media canvas that I created using ABC Studios' Diva collection. This collection is absolutely stunning and it is full of beautiful florals that are just screaming to be fussy cut out. Here I'm going to show you some of the florals that I do cut out for this project, but I don't do it on camera because honestly it's painful to watch someone fussy cut and there's no reason to do it. Anyhow, so I started the canvas by building up some background texture, and I'm doing that through one of my all-time favorite stencils from Finnabair and some paper paste. I love to use the paper paste because of the paper fibers that are in the paste, hence the name. They just suck up the color and it's amazing. I just love it. You'll see me make a little bit of mistake here. I didn't delete it out. I'm not 100% sure why. Laugh at me in the comments. I don't know. Maybe give me a thumbs up. I'd greatly appreciate it. Anyhow, so now that I've got that fixed, I'm going to scrape off the edge. I'll set that off to the side and I'll move on. Oh, it's so pretty. Anyhow, I wasn't 100% sure what I was doing with this canvas, so I knew I was going to need some layering flowers, so I just pulled some white ones out of my stash and sprayed them to match with a coordinating Lind'y color. Adding some clear gesso to my resin bits that I created using a redesign mold. This is one of the older ones, but I love it. Now I don't need gesso because with the Impasto paint, it's so thick and it's matte finish. It's amazing. Look, one coat, boom. I don't show you all of this because it's horribly painful to watch me paint. I do actually get a sponge out and it goes a lot quicker, but there was no reason to watch that too. So moving on, I'm going to start adhering things using some heavy body gel. But looking back at it, I do wish I would have put this together off camera because I actually have to replace the paper and the inside of the window frame because it absorbed in once I started adding all my water. Lesson learned. I knew better, I thought about it, and then I still did it anyways. Anyhow, I didn't want to spray anything because I really wanted to keep my white areas white, and I wanted this to be very controlled, so I just used a paintbrush, dipping it in. And I didn't get as much mica as I would want out of my Lind'ys, but anyhow. But you notice I'm holding it because I have spilled so many bottles of Lind'ys, so keep that hand on there. It is not fun to clean up Lind'ys. Plus it wastes the whole bottle. Anyhow, I'm just going to mix two of these purpley pink kind of colors to coordinate with the paper collection. And I'm just touching this one in because it's so much brighter. Just little bits that are flowing in. Now I do dry this off camera before I start adding the blue, even though I did add a little bit more water to have it blend in just a little bit, but I didn't want the colors to get muddy. So I'm just adding a little bit of blue on the very outskirts of the pink. And they kind of blend a little bit together, but they don't cover each other up because I dried in between. So you can see I'm just being very controlled with this and dragging it around with my paintbrush and really trying to keep my white areas white and my colored areas colored and just commingling just a little tiny bit. So while it looks very random, it is very controlled too. There you can see my color seepage into my window that I can't believe I did that. Anyhow, mistake, lesson learned. So now I'm going to use some liquid acrylic to start painting my resin piece, which I can do now that I've added that clear gesso. And I just added a little bit of water there because I was just trying to thin it out. I didn't want it to be too dark, but I had to go back and add some more. So I wasted a little bit, and that really sucks because this is my favorite green, even though it's a brown. Anyhow, so now I'm using her new crimson color, which is so beautiful, and it matches this color collection perfectly, and that's actually one of the reasons why I chose to work with this collection, because once I got these in the mail, I had to play with them. I just had to. So I was excited when my order came in and I sat down to play with these colors. They're vibrant, they're beautiful. My next step was to start adhering my resin pieces. Now I used some 3D gloss gel for this, but I wasn't crazy with it because I knew I might want to tuck some paper under. So just a little bit in place, but I still had some wiggle room to tuck papers under if I needed to. So now I'm going to dry brush some heavy white gesso on, and I'm doing this pretty much everywhere. And it's just to give the canvas a little bit more of a cohesive feel. Why I absolutely love how bright these flowers are. I just wanted to tie everything in a little bit, and the paper collection is just, it's just softer feeling. So I wanted to make sure that the flowers in the background didn't take over the whole canvas. They're gorgeous, but that's not where I was going with this. So I wanted to make sure that I just kind of gave it a little bit more of a cohesive feel. So I'm dry brushing here, and this is actually a really heavy coat of dry brushing. Normally I would do a very light coat and build up, but I guess I was getting impatient at this point in time because I just do one heavy coat of dry brushing. And now I've gotten some pink in my brush, and I'm gonna start screaming at it, and I actually changed the brush off camera. I like to use my fan brush. It's super, super easy, but I had to switch it out because I got pink on there because I was rushing the process and everything wasn't dry. See, don't rush. Patience is a virtue. Anyhow, so I'm going to continue dry brushing this, just trying to get everything to have a little bit softer feel. And it really does that. You know, that's one thing that I always do when I can't get a project to look like it's coming together. I use a little bit of gesso and just tie it together. Even if you're just doing splatters, a lot of times that'll give it a more of a cohesive feel. Now that I'm wrapping that up, I'm actually going to start painting my relic and artifact. It's discontinued and it's old and it's in my stash, and I'm sorry that I used it, but they make great focal points and I have a bunch of them, and you know, it gets expensive to make things, so I need to use what I have in my room. So hopefully you have one too. Anyhow, just a quick coat of the Persian blue liquid acrylic. Isn't it pretty? And it goes perfectly on this. These resin pieces were amazing. There was no gesso required for this. It just sucks up the paint, holds it. It was a beautiful surface. Anyhow, just a quick one coat, and then I finished it off after it was dried with some Deco Art clear Crackle glaze. This is the Crackle glaze that I have. I'm sure other ones work as well. This is the one I have, so this is the one I'm using because, again, I need to use my stash. It's going to start tumbling out of my room and into other areas of my house, and that cannot happen. But I do set this to the side and I let that air dry so the crackles form. It actually happens really, really fast. Now, continuing with some crackles, I go ahead and I'm going to paint this shutter pretty much 100% with this crackle paste, but I do it heavy in some areas and thinner in some areas, and because I want the linen color to show through, but I don't want it to be that brownie kind of color. I want more of a white aged feel, if that makes sense. So I do most of this off camera, including the shutters, but I just wanted you to see what I was doing. I put a little bit inside, but not too much. Brush, brush, as fast as I can go. Okay, now I have my relic in place, and you can see that I did add one of Prima's hardware crowns. I think that it's actually from Frank Garcia, and they're probably discontinued too. I'm sorry. Maybe not. I'm sure you can find one. It's just a pretty crown and it fit perfectly on top, and I adhered the heart off camera. I thought I was recording. I was not. I'm sorry. But now I'm just sticking some paper flowers in, and then I'm layering my fussy cuts on top, and I'm just using the paper flowers to build them up so it gives it a little bit of dimension, and where I need a little bit more dimension, I'm using foam tape or pieces of cardboard. And I chopped this up and I cut it up and I sped it up, but I just wanted you to kind of see how it comes together. So you can see me rip things off, move them around until I'm happy. Cut the pieces that I had in half, anything to make it the way that I wanted it to be, which I really didn't know, but until it made me happy. Anyhow, so now I'm using some old white wax, and this is in the newer tube because honestly I had one in the tin and I didn't really like it. I think I really love the tubes. I didn't think I was going to, but I do. But the old white wax just really makes all the crackles in the glaze just pop, and you can see it in the detail shots. It's beautiful. So I did purchase one more of Finn's new collection, and this was the Magic Potion Effect Paste. I don't usually get the paste because, I'm kind of a cheapskate. I make my own a lot. Don't tell anybody. But I wanted to see how they worked, and I have to say, this is gorgeous. I really do love the color that's in this one. It's like a brownie kind of purple. I can see using it maybe on a metallic project or even a purple project like this. But it's really a beautiful color, and it dries 100% clear, so you can put more glitter in it, you can put more mica beads in it, you can use it to actually hold some things down. It is very diverse, and I'm happy that I bought it. So I'm going to finish that off, and that wraps up this canvas. I hope that you enjoyed my process, and thank you so much for spending your time with me. I hope you'll consider giving this video a thumbs up and subscribing to the channel. If you have any comments, I love to read them, and you can always follow me on Instagram as well. That link will be in the description box, as well as all the products that I used. Thank you so much again, and you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.